client believes a change has happened, it has. And I find that such a powerful bloody technique for, it's brilliant for TV shows as well. You know, because to film you outside, it's great because the person will cough and splutter and put it out and go, no, I don't want any more of them, and you've got them on camera without having to rehearse them or stooge them, going, no, I don't want any more, that's bloody horrible. You've got your result. They hypnotise themselves arguably at that point. It makes sense. Obviously they're all piecing together. So, we've only got 20 minutes. I said your advertising is important. As I say, there's DVDs in the pack you can look at regarding that. Or leave your email address or contact me on Facebook, like I said, and I'll also send you some more details on that. Most of the work's done before the session because I get them to fill in a questionnaire. A copy of this questionnaire is on the gastric band hypnosis disc that's in your black folder. Okay, so you can look at it. I haven't got time to go through it all, I'm afraid. But it is there. It asks them things like their name, address, telephone number, for marketing purposes and obvious other reasons. Date of birth, what's your problem? How long have you had this problem? How do you feel this problem started? It doesn't matter whether that's true or not. You don't need to do all this analytical therapy to find what truly started it, because if they feel it's what started it, and you work around that, then they will feel you're doing the thing that's relevant for them, and therefore they're more likely to buy into it and trigger the placebo effect. What do you feel I need to do for you during the session to permanently cure this problem? Within reason, within the boundaries of law and good taste. Is there to write on there, I think you need to stick a stick of celery up each of my nostrils and slap me with a wet mackerel? Do you know what I'm going to do when they show up? I'm going to say, have you studied hypnotherapy at all before? And they're going to go, no, yeah, well, it's just very astute of you to know that I was going to stick a piece of celery up each nostril, makes them feel good because they were right, rather than telling them they're wrong. Do, within reason, what they say, think, and believe is going to work for them. Do it! Because it's got more chance of bloody working for them because that's what they believe already! Work with what they already believe. What is the final outcome you wish to achieve from this session? What was the best experience of your entire life, a time you felt confident, proud, loved and on top of the world? What was the worst and most emotionally painful experience of your entire life? Well, don't worry, it's up to them what they bought. So I don't consider that mind raping, because they can put something that's actually not the worst if they choose to. Who's the one person you would love to meet, you love most in the entire world? It should say themselves. And if it does, I won't bother having them as a client, because they're alright. They're just an attention-seeking fucker. 99% of the time, it won't. It'll say their wife, their daughter, or whatever. It should say themselves, because it's not selfish to be selfless. You've got to look after yourself first. Especially therapists should. Again, sick mind fraud. Are you on any medication for this problem? Again, if they are, make sure they go back and see a medical GP. We neither diagnose nor prescribe. Is there a history of this problem within your direct family? Have you tried any other alternative therapies? Have you got any questions for me about anything? Most of these are just so it looks, it's a ritual for them to do. And I tell them, I email them this when they pay, and I tell them they must print it out. And they must print it out, and they must write all the answers in blue ballpoint pen. That if they send this back to me, and it's not handwritten, and it's not completed in blue ballpoint pen, that I will rip the fucking thing up, and they'll have to do another one. And also, I won't see them as a client, and there's always going to be a 28-day delay, so they better get that in quick by sign for delivery, I strongly suggest, through the post. Because I want them to have to make the commitment of writing it out by hand, which also externalises it, and any emotions and negative shit attached becomes externalised, disassociated. It's starting to become disassociated. I want them to have to make that commitment of then folding the paper, putting it in an envelope, going to the post office, sending it, and I strictly say, sign for delivery, because around near me you can't trust the postman. I know it's maybe only £1.60, you know, for sign for delivery, but it's another commitment on top of the 500 quid they paid me. I'm getting them to do stuff in advance. I'm getting them to take control of their destiny in their life before they even get to me, because ultimately it is down to them in the end for any sustainable long-term change. It asks for the date of birth. It seems like something a doctor might ask them, but it's great because in trance, if they put down the problem started X number of years ago and you've got their date of birth, with those two bits of information, some basic maths and a calculator if you need it, you can work out exactly what age they were. And if you want to tailor the script at that point that's relevant in my Complete Mind Therapy script, rather than just saying, imagine a moment when this started and see it on the TV screen and you end up destroying it. Because we destroy this television and all the past shit, and then we instill future pace, positive stuff with this magic mirror thing. It's all explained in my Complete Mind Therapy script, which is on the gastric band hypnosis disc. If I say so myself, it's the single best hypnosis script on the planet. It's not just me saying that. People like Richard Nongard in America say that. I know that certain television life coaches have been incredibly successful with it because they licensed it from me. There's therapists around the world using it. It works for everything. And I mean everything. You don't need a course for this, a course for that, a course for that. This script covers everything because it leaves blanks. It doesn't say, look at the television screen and see yourself when you used to smoke. You can say that when you know what the issue is, but you can just fill in the blank. It could be when you ate that, or it could be when you used to be scared of spiders. You just change the blank bit there, the rest of it's the same. The future, see yourself a year from now, a month from now, whatever. Fantastic, feeling good, it doesn't bother you like it once did. You just fill in the blank. It's a one-size-fits-all script, and a lot of people go, scriptnosis, you couldn't do that. You know what? God, you know, you're only a good therapist if you can ad-lib and make it up as you go along. And you know what? I can do that if I wanted to. A, I'm lazy, but B, here's the thing. You know when you ad-lib, sometimes you miss bits out. And every trick in the book that there could be, every verbal suggestion technique that exists, is built into my Complete Mind Therapy script. And that's why it's so bloody effective. Use it, well you don't have to, but if you use it, you'll see how bloody effective it is. I know the people that have, you know. Yeah, I could make it up as I go along. I'd probably leave something out, and I don't know, everybody's different. Maybe for that individual, that one little technique or verbal suggestion that I left out could have been the thing that would have made more of a difference for them. So I think, fuck it, put them all in. So, you know, some people, they're going NLP about VACOG, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. And they're going to find out what their representational system is. There's all these ways of doing it. I say, why waste the bloody time? I don't give a shit. They know. So, my script is worded so it says now in a way that feels right for you. It's almost as if, and it's almost as if, not you'll see it in glorious technicolor, because if they don't see it in glorious technicolor, they lose trust in you, because you suggested something and it didn't happen. The more things we can suggest happen that then do, the more they believe in us. So in a way that feels right for you, it's almost as if you can taste, smell, see, feel and hear everything as 100% total reality. But it doesn't matter if they don't see it in glorious technicolor, because clearly that's what feels right for them. So they're never wrong. We're empowering them even more. All of it's built into that script, which I don't have time to go through, because if you read it from start to finish, it conveniently takes 53 minutes to read, including the Jacobson's progressive relaxation induction. Therapists out there go, well, if you can't ad-lib, you're a crap therapist. You know what? I think it's unethical and immoral not to have it fully scripted, because you will, by virtue of being human, leave something out by accident otherwise. And that might have been the thing that changed somebody's life. So I'd say having something that's like a laser-guided missile and covers everything and therefore is guaranteed to work for them is far more ethical and moral than not doing it. So with that thought in mind,
Bloody hell.
I've got like 10 minutes or about. Very quickly, I'd like to welcome a guest. I'll let Rob introduce himself. I told you before, he's on tour next year, the Hypnotist Live, coming into a theatre near you. I'm going to get him to very quickly demonstrate what we named the Seesaw Hypnotic Induction Technique. very, very briefly explain it. You can't go into too much depth because we ain't got time, but don't worry, you've got it on DVD. So please, a round of applause for my friend and colleague, Mr. Robert Campbell.
Thank you, good afternoon. Right, we're going to rush through this. You're going to get the abbreviated version of this. Basically, I'm a stage hypnotist, have been for nearly 15 years, working all of Europe and mostly in the UK. A long time ago, back 12 years ago, I was working in the Greek holiday resort of Kos, beautiful island, and I was doing a show one night, and my girlfriend at the time was watching the show. We hadn't been together very long, but she had seen me do lots of shows in a really short space of time. Therefore, the show was the same every night in the hypnosis bit, and she said, can you do something different tonight? Just show me what else is possible. So I thought, all right, okay, Christ, I'm about to go on stage in 2 minutes' time, and I'm going to do something completely out of the blue. What I used to do up to that point was lock people's hands together and do a fallback induction like Alex did before. So I thought, right, I'm going to do something completely different now, and so what I did was I thought, well, the easiest thing to do is change the suggestibility test from locked hands to something else. So I went, right, what else can I do? I know, light and heavy hands. So I changed to that, and I'll make it up as I go along. Because, as we know, the placebo effect will kick in, and I could pretty much do anything, and some of the people on stage are going to be hypnotised. It was the middle of the summer, we had about 300 people in the bar, and I had probably about 15 or 20 people in a big long line across the stage. So even if I did anything, I'm likely to keep at least a couple of them. So I thought, well, balls to the wall, let's just do something. So, what happened was we had all the volunteers, and I started to do the light and heavy hands test, which I'll not bother going into because it's as old as the hills, but basically, the way that we teach it and the way that we do it is left hand palm up, right hand palm down, because that's how you would have to hold books. Nobody would hold books like this. And then you talk about heavy books on the one hand, and then the other hand pulling up. In fact, the easiest thing to do is to probably demonstrate this. Could I get a volunteer from anyone who would like to? Chris, have a seat just here. So I did this. Have a seat, thank you. I did this thing, made it as I went along, and showed it to Alex, and then eventually we developed it and worked out why it works. But the fact that it worked was pure fluke coincidence. It just turns out that it happens to be, and I'm a little bit biased, but it is, in my opinion, the best hypnotic induction in the world. It's the only thing I do now. So, Chris, thank you for volunteering. What we're going to do, a little simple psychological test. It's very straightforward. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 1, I'd like you to place your hands out in front of you for me like this, fingers nice and widely spread, hands about 12 inches apart. On the count of 2, I'd like you to take your left hand and turn it palm up, leave the right hand where it is. On the count of 3, simply close your eyes. Is that cool? Yeah, perfect. So make yourself nice and comfortable. Good. Take a nice deep breath in, and let it out. Perfect. Right now on the count of 1, place both hands out in front of you for me like this, fingers nice and widely spread, hands about 12 inches apart. Good. Take another nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Perfect. Right now on the count of 2, take your left hand and turn it palm up for me. Excellent. Take another nice deep breath in and let it out. Perfect. Right now on the count of 3, simply close your eyes, Chris, and listen to every single word that I say. As you sit there now with your hands outstretched, I'd like you to imagine, simply pretend that on the palm of your left hand, I'm going to place a very heavy pile of dusty brown leather-bound library books. These are heavy, dusty leather-bound library books, and right now they're going to start to push your left hand gently down towards your knee, towards the floor, towards the very core of the earth. As with every second that passes by, those books just get heavier and heavier and heavier. Now don't force it, but don't resist it either. Just allow your imagination to allow those books to just get heavier and continue to push your left hand down towards your knee, towards the floor, towards the very core of the earth. And right now, as that left hand continues to get heavier and heavier under the weight of those books, on the middle finger of your right hand, I'd like you to imagine that I'm going to tie a bunch of bright red helium balloons. These balloons are big, bright red and full of helium, and they're going to start to pull your right hand up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, towards the rainbow. As those books continue to get heavier and heavier, pushing that left hand down heavier and heavier and heavier, those balloons are going to get more and more full of helium. You can see them in your mind's eye. As your eyes close, your imagination opens wider. You can see those balloons pulling your right hand up, rising and lifting into the air, lifting and rising. As the heavier those books get, the lighter those balloons get. As the more and more your left hand moves down, the more and more your right hand moves up, rising and lifting into the air. Lifting and rising and lifting as those books get heavier. Fantastic imaginations, excellent concentrations. Now in just a moment, I'm going to come round and touch some of you on the back of the hands. If you feel me touch you on the back of the hands, it won't bother you or disturb you in any way. It will simply serve as a sign and a signal to relax. So the moment, the very instant you feel me touch you on the back of the hands and command the word sleep, your eyes will remain tightly closed, your heavy head will fall forward to one side, your hands and your arms will drop down into your lap, and you'll allow yourself to enter the incredible relaxing state that we call hypnosis. Once again, the very second, the very moment, the very instant I touch you on the back of the hands and command the word sleep, your eyes will remain tightly closed, your heavy head will fall forward to one side, your hands, your arms will drop down into your lap, and you allow yourself to enter that incredible relaxing state that we call hypnosis. As for now, your left hand continues to get heavier and heavier, your right hand continues to get lighter and lighter, and simply allow yourself to just sleep and relax, sinking and drifting gently down deeper and deeper to sleep. As you continue to sit there, every rock of your body simply sends you down deeper and deeper. As I take hold of your right hand and drop it down towards your leg, you'll feel every single muscle, every single fibre simply switching off and relaxing down more and more entirely. For now, you can open your eyes, wakey, wakey, rise and shine. So, that's what it looks like. What I like about it is that from a stage perspective, and this won't be any use to you unless you want to do stage shows, or do stage shows, but from a stage perspective, I have a very short space of time to hypnotise as many people as I possibly can. When you've got a line of people in my theatre show, we start off about 20 people and I whittle them down to 12. I have to work with those people really, 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 really quickly. What's nice about this is the long drawn out bit happens to everyone at the same time. So if you ever do a group hypnotherapy session, where you've got loads and loads of people, potentially as many people here or more coming to you for one day's session, you can actually do the long drawn out bit, the light and heavy hands bit, to everybody at once. The actual induction bit at the end is less than 2 seconds for each person. So it's really, really fast if you need it. So for me, that's useful. So in terms of what's going on here, the DVD that you've got in the pack, which we made in 2009, I think, 2008, 2009, long time ago.
2008, before Ashley was born.
2008 goes into all the nitty-gritties of why we think it works and how it works. But fundamentally, the beginning is just a light and heavy hands test, the way that many people here will have done. Just talk about one hand getting heavy, one hand getting lighter. If you wouldn't mind putting your hands back into that position again for me, so it would be like this. Again, as Alex said earlier, it doesn't really matter if this hand doesn't move very much, because this one's always going to go down. Having said that, you will notice vast, obviously, differences. Some people sit like this and some people are like this, and that's just a really good cue for you as to how responsive and receptive they're going to be to this. The actual process, and this is the exact wording that I use, but it's on the DVD. The exact wording that I use, if you sit like that for me for a moment, the exact wording that I actually use is this. In a moment, I'm going to touch you on the back of the hands, if there's more than one. In a moment, I'm going to touch some of you on the back of the hands. In a moment, I'm going to touch you on the back of the hands. When you feel me touch you on the back of the hands, it won't bother you, disturb you, or distract you. It will simply serve as a sign and a signal to relax. Now, this is the key wording that I've played with over the last 10 years and come up with, is this. When I touch you on the back of the hands and command the word sleep, hang on a minute, I need to get back into flow now. When I touch you on the back of the hands and command the word sleep, that's it. Your eyes will remain closed because they're already closed. Your heavy head will fall forward to one side. Your hands and your arms will drop down into your lap, and you'll allow yourself to enter that incredible relaxing state that we call hypnosis. Once again, I actually go through it again. Once again, the very moment, the very instant I touch you on the back of the hands and command the word sleep, your eyes will remain tightly closed, your heavy head will fall forward to one side, and your hands and your arms will drop down into your lap or to one side. So, here's what I've told them is about to happen. I'm going to touch you on the back of the hands. This is true. What I don't tell them is that I'm then going to do this weird motion with their hands. The motion is this. I take my hands and prepare to just touch them on the back of the hands like this. Okay? Now here's the key to making this work and being effective. It is the lightest imaginable touch on the back of their hands. I'm not grabbing his hands, or you can. To get the best results out of it, it's a really gentle touch. And this is the move. I'm going to guide his hands to swap places, like a seesaw. So literally I'm going to guide his hands to swap places. This one is just going to keep going down onto his leg, and then this one is going to come diagonally across his body as the whole thing happens. And the more you do it, you'll just see this slump that's like, you think, where did that come from? 2 seconds ago this guy was not in any sense being gently relaxed or anything like that, and then in less than a second, that's what happens. So that's about as fast as I can go through it. I think that covers all the key points.
It does, and the rest is on the DVD. Thank you very much today. The first time he did it on me. Bearing in mind I know hypnosis doesn't exist, it's bullshit. Many people have tried to imitate it's all problems. It was such a sense of disorientation and confusion with my eyes closed that suddenly, what the hell's going on? So I was like, I suddenly opened my eyes and went, what the fuck have you just done? Because if hypnosis did exist, I reckon it'd feel like that. I want to buy it. I did. So you've all got it for free in your pack. So thanks, Rob. Look, time is running out. I'm going to be talking about at 6 o'clock. But before we end, remember, either put your email address down here or send you other freebies or Facebook, me, facebook.com/HYPNO-TRICKS. Please hang on more for 5 minutes. We're not finished yet. I never did give that. I was going to give it out, but it's my self-help book, The Perfect You. It's probably... They've come out in recent years with this fuck therapy, just fuck it. But this genuinely does, if you don't believe me, buy it off Amazon, it's less than a tenner. Even to the self-help, I'm honest with clients that it's all placebo. I go, it's just our little secret. You can leave all this stuff behind in the office. And he does tell them in this book that it's all about helping them feel loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for, cherished and valued. That, you know, it's about leaving behind all that shit. In other words, I practice what I preach. Okay? And with that in mind, I want to end today by giving you this thought. We've talked about the placebo effect. The key is for people to really believe in a placebo or to really believe in the Hawthorne effect or token effect, you've got to deliver it with conviction, confidence, charisma, and in a credible environment. But then the placebo truly can work miracles. In this book, An Argument for Self-Healing, Faith and the Placebo Effect, by Lilette Kuby, K-U-B-Y, published, interestingly enough, in 2001, so again, many years after I was teaching this stuff, but this scientifically also backs up. I used to get called a nutter. Now even conventional medical science is agreeing with what I've been teaching people for years. So maybe one day soon, sadly, I won't be the bad boy of hypnosis any longer. I want to leave you with this paragraph from this. Then I will see you at the bar at 6 o'clock. Before you go, if not already done, if you don't mind saying a few words to the camera, just walk in front of it, say something, walk off, be much appreciated. But before I just hand you back to Steve, I want to leave you with this paragraph. I think it sums up the message that I've been trying to give you today. You need to believe in yourself. The more you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter what the important seeming ritualistic process is, it's more likely to work. It's more likely to trigger that placebo. So from page 160, I believe, and I truly do, this is the author's words, but I truly believe, and it's my experience, that the medicine of the future will concentrate on triggering placebo effects, encouraging patients to have faith in their ability to cure themselves, will produce more cures than are dreamed of in our present medical philosophy. Doctors will be doctors of the spirit. What about science, you ask? This is science. It's the science that science has not yet fully caught up with, but it will. My name's Jonathan Royal. Thank you. Good night. So I can show my daughter. When I go home, she'll be happy. Ashley, it happened. Thank you.
And he had the most fabulous message from his daughter, who I know Jonathan and his lovely wife Rachel explain very well to little Ashley about his branding, so she understands it well. And she wrote, did any of you see it when I posted it in the Facebook? You know, I don't know if you've heard this. Get your hanky. He's a doctor, a reverend, and a lord. Also, he's a professor known home and as abroad. As a trainer, he beats all the rest, but as my dada, he is the best. Ladies and gentlemen.